So, welcome to the Gen Z Voices podcast. As you know, this is a platform where we invite early career professionals to share their hopes and aspirations about the future of work. We ask the same 5 questions, so same format every time, same 5 questions to all our guests. And today I'm simply thrilled to have Joy from Nigeria on the podcast today. Joy, very warm welcome. Thrilled to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Joy, tell us a little bit about, what work experience you had. I know you've got a little bit of a portfolio life. Let's tell our listeners a little bit more about you and what you do in the professional world.
Okay. So presently, I'm a brands and com executive. So I started working while I was still in school. I studied, actually studied agri in school. And so the first company I worked for was an agri-tech company. So I
Uh-huh.
worked remotely. So I was already building my portfolio, obviously, with that. Then after that, I did my service year. It's something in Nigeria, like a 1 year internship. I did it at an
Uh-huh.
ISP company as an
Okay.
internet service provider. I think there I was a social media manager. Then I became a brand and com. That was the first time I started to like really intentionally build my portfolio related to brands and communication. And currently, I'm a brand assistant for a hair care brand. So that's pretty much it.
Wow, what an interesting journey in such a short time. I can't wait to hear more of what you have to share of your perspectives on work, Joy. And with that, let me dive straight into the first question. So, what's one thing, Joy, about today's work culture that doesn't fit quite so well with how you see the world or your values?
Okay, so I would say the first thing is the fact that rest is not communicated effectively. Rest, that the fact that people should rest. There are still people that work on Sundays, which
Mm-hmm.
is I don't think is right. It also encourages the hustle mentality, which I believe actually affects the overall productivity of
Mm,
employees. So, for example, I believe we actually rest to work. I believe we rest to work. So, if you're working also on Sundays, I mean, how would you like get refreshed or renewed for the remaining week? I believe weekends are like the weekend. So
mm-hmm.
it should be you resting. So if we can rest at night, we should be able to rest on Sundays. That
Yeah.
is what I believe. And I believe that there should be less of the hustle mentality where companies prioritize you are only as valuable as much as you produce. So in
Mm,
other words, if the employees have maybe they're having issues with their family, they're having health issues, the companies don't care as long as they bring in profit or they are able to meet the target. It's a very wrong distance. So literally rest, I believe rest should be inculcated in the present work system, and also the hustle mentality should be reduced actually. So that's
mm-hmm.
it for me.
Interesting. Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely a pattern that we're hearing on the podcast. And next question is, if you could redesign one part of how companies work, this might be hierarchy, meetings, anything you like, what would you redesign first and why?
Okay, I would say I would redesign the traditional way a company is made. So in a traditional system, there's always like a hierarchy where we have like the boss who feels like the godfather, like the managers, and we have like the employees. And most times it feels like the employees are like the lower rank
Mm-hmm.
individual. I believe that's a very wrong mindset. I believe that employees are the first clients of a company. So I can imagine what it would look like in my own perspective of value if a CEO actually calls a meeting and tell managers that you are here to serve our employees. You are not here to just boss over them. You are here to serve them. So they need to be, let's say, well taken care of. And it would also be a situation whereby so to some extent, employees should have a say. So a situation where an employee is actually reporting a manager would do the manager a disfavor. But in this particular traditional concept or present work system, if a manager actually just pinpoints that this employee has been doing bad, even though it's wrong, the employee can get fired, which is wrong. It should be the other way around. The employee
Hmm.
should be the one to say that you have to treat me well, because even though it may not be like the right context, but the employees should have some form of, shall I say, power or strength. Because
Power.
if you think
Yeah.
about, yeah, yeah, so that's pretty much, I believe that would actually make a more healthier and effective work environment.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And Joy, let's talk about trust for a minute. How do you decide whether you personally are going to trust? It could be your employer, it could be a manager, it could be a colleague at work. What do you look for that makes you trust someone?
Okay, I'll say discerning a person's actions. I'll call it intuition. So, for example, let's say there's someone on my team that just always makes unilateral decisions, purposely corrects my work in front of everyone, and just assigns small tasks to me. I can already discern that this person is trying to secure his own position,
Hmm.
right? Not necessarily because this person is trying to believe. So I know this person is not trustworthy, because if he can try to undermine me to save himself, then he can do more. So discernment of actions, I just believe knowing if this person's action match with their word, it's
Mm,
very important. You can always see through the lines. And even
yes.
companies, and even companies, what they promised at the onboarding stage, have they been able to fulfill it? You can just check from their stream of
Ah,
this thing, like okay, so when they ask the question, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, and they say that we can be able to help you achieve it, are they actually, is there actually a system where they are able to achieve it? So I think does companies, are you working in a company where there are many times they keep saying that they will appraise, and it's been taking 1, 2, 3 months, they've not been appraisal. I mean, you could see through the line.
mm,
So that's how you know if you
yeah.
should trust a pair of companies.
So I'm hearing a couple of things in there. Watch really carefully how people show up in terms of behavior because you can learn quite a lot without words
Yeah.
being said. And then I'm also hearing do what you say you're going to do. So if you bring me on board and you say I'm going to be appraised within 2 months, then do it. Did I get those things right?
Yes, yes, you
Mm,
did.
yes, yes. Again, quite a common theme. Now, Joy, what kind of leadership would you like to see more of in the world?
Okay, I would say a servant leader. A servant leader. Interestingly, that's a concept I've been studying personally. So when I
Hmm.
studied question, when I got a question, I was like, okay, perfect. A servant leader, someone who isn't just trying to be a boss or a godfather, but who is
Yeah.
genuinely trying to lead others. So I'm going to give an instance where you walk into a restaurant. There are some times where there's someone trying to direct you to a free spot where you can sit down, right? In the physical sense, that person is actually a leader. But people won't see it that way because the person's work may look demeaning or low status.
Hmm.
But that's the kind of mindset I believe leaders should actually have. Less of a boss, less of Godfather vibes, and more of how can I serve you? How do I make you better than I left you? Something like that. It should not be about how many people serve under a leader, but about how many people the leader serves, how many more
Mm,
leaders they are able to raise. And I believe that most times we've seen leaders are anytime we hear leader, the first thing we're thinking is managerial roles, governance, and everything. But I believe a leader shouldn't just go up to stay up there, but should be able to raise other people, like
mm,
stretch down his hands to also raise other people. It actually has to do with a lot of sacrifice or selflessness. But I believe it's a very great example of being a leader.
yes. I love your idea of the person showing you to the table because where else are you're not going to know where to go unless that very important person escorts you to the correct table. And I love how you describe how the perception of that role could be seen differently. So, our final
Mhm.
question, Joy. In what ways do you think a company should invest in your growth?
Okay, so I would say personal development generally. So I think in one of the questions I made context to where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Hmm.
Most companies ask that question to try to see if the employee is things far and everything beautiful, but they should be conscious of the fact that that particular goal the employee wants to achieve, they should take note of it. Actually, they
Right.
should they should
Yes.
take note
Hmm.
of it so that they can also help the employee achieve that. For example, there should be in a company, there should be a system where there are sessions and webinars where employees are taught how to manage their salary. Like, I mean, you pay them, and obviously, you know that most times employees get grumpy, get demotivated because their salary is not enough, and it may not be that
Mm.
it's not much. They don't even know how to manage it. So you having sessions where you can actually show them, okay, this is how you manage your money. I mean, it's going to be helpful. It's going to create a more effective system. So,
Yes.
let me give an example where there's a company that, okay, maybe there's a larger percentage of women. There should be sessions on how they navigate motherhood and
Mm.
work. There's this kind of sessions that actually show that you care. Companies should be able to contribute to their personal development, and this can actually start with a team. So a team lead should have an idea on the personal life, not generally deep personal life, but should know that, okay, but to some extent on the surface, that this is this person's life. So how can I work with this person in a way that it would be effective? I can know that this person is a mother and everything, as long as this is their role. How can I help her navigate? These are the things that employees would look at and be like, okay, I think I want to stay. Like, even though the money is not much, I believe this company is going to be of great help to me. I mean, I don't think there's a company that would be doing this. This is what I believe companies should be doing, should be thinking, because there are most companies that they don't even know like a little bit about the life of their distance. And why I understand that personal life should be different from work life, there should still be some interconnection. For example, the goals
Mm.
of person,
Yeah.
there should be some interconnection, that okay, if a company know that, okay, the way this person, she has mentioned it many times in the meetings, she wants to travel the world, she wants to go to maybe Europe, and she's always talking about these trips and everything. How about we just do like a general work trip? Maybe that should be the next day she should go to our vacation. And this can just be something that a
Keep going. I
um
can still hear you even though I've lost your video. Yeah.
this can just be something that a company would do that would, I mean, greatly impact the employees and the overall work system.
Mm. Hmm. I love that. Joy, what a pleasure it has been to have you on. Thank you for your super articulate and thoughtful responses to my questions. I wish you all the very best for your continued journey, and
Thank
thank you
you.
for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joy. Take care.
Yes, right.